Flashback Friday at a mayor's office, and we got our boy, the king of content creation, Nicky Cass.
November of 2020, I said, fuck it, I'm going to make a run at the whole thing. And like, when I go all in on something, I mean, that's it. And it's just been this beautiful thing of just downward failures, but then high moments. I love it. I love it.
And I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life. Good life.
Boom, coming in hot, Chichi. How we feeling, cuz?
I feel simpatico is the word today because I got one of my paisans. This is Paisan family. The Irish Caseys are going to learn a lot today from our guest, who's one of the funniest. Yeah, there he is. One of the funniest dudes out there. One of the best content creators we got going out in the industry. I'm really psyched to be a part of this. This is way more even up my alley than it is even your former.
Oh, dude. This guy's one of my favorites, dude. One of the best content creators out there on social media right now, no doubt. Spreading good in the world through laughter. That's what this guy does. You want to have a laugh. You want to have some joy. You go check out my man Nick Cassano. Huge on TikTok, millions of followers. Chinch, we have like 47 followers.
Yeah,
this guy's got millions of people.
We will ask him about that. Yes.
Yeah, tons of 690,000 followers on Instagram, which is incredible to see the growth. But more importantly, dude, his content's incredible. He grinds it out. Like we'll talk about that a little bit too. Played at Montclair State, a little bit of baseball. He's got a great swing. Him and the Todd father go at it hand in hand, just ripping balls off the tee. Does a ton of stuff about growing up Italian. Does a ton of stuff with golfing, football, baseball. Just his videos are incredible. So let's bring him in. None other than Nicky Cass, but Nick Cassano. Nick, man, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining the mayor's office with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored to be here. I've been a huge fan of what you've been doing since I was growing up. So it really is a full circle moment for me. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. I mean, first off, let's before we get into all the unbelievable stuff that you do and the content you create, and like I said, the laughter. I know you have a bigger mission than just throwing out videos. I know you tell us what your mission is first. Why don't you tell us what your mission is?
So I'm a big student of life. Like I was never a good student in the classroom, but always like observing, asking questions. And I like to say like I'm a student of life. And one of the biggest things for me is like a personal mission statement. And my personal mission statement is to spread good in the world through laughter and always maintain who I am. And I think through my content, I always keep that in the back of my mind because for me, laughter is like the cure. Like when you laugh, you don't think about nothing. Like you really don't. It's as pure of a moment as they come. It's just joy. You don't think about this or that. Can I curse on here? Or
oh yeah, go ahead.
Please do.
Yes.
You don't think about all the fucking bullshit you got going on in your life. It's just a pure moment. And I realized at a young age, I grew up playing baseball and sports are a huge part of my life and taught me a lot of things that I carry into what I'm doing now. But I've always been the funny guy, and I always knew that I had the ability to make people laugh, and to be doing it every day, I got to pinch myself every morning. I don't even need sleep anymore. I'm living the dream when my eyes crack open. So it really is. That's the underlying thing for me.
Dude, how did all this start? I'm always interested because we all see the end product. Hey, this guy's a wild success. Yeah. Hey, he's on Barstool, he's on ESPN, he just signed with John Boy Media. Congratulations with that.
Thank you.
BuzzFeed, you've been everywhere, dude. You're all over the place, and people love your stuff. But take us back to the first video when this whole Nicky Cass character and all this stuff became.
I love it. So I like I said, I played baseball my whole life. It was the first thing I ever loved, and it taught me everything I need to know about work ethic, discipline, failure, how to bounce back from failure, how to be a team player. We could get into the whole thing, but long story short, I played baseball my whole life. I got the opportunity to play in college. My first year didn't go as I thought, so I transferred schools. But in the interim of all this, like I was always on my phone making videos for my friends. Like if I was cooking chicken, like I'd wear like a guinea tee, and I'd be like, "Yo, today we're going to be making some chicken, and I'm going to tell you how to get yo." And I'd like, I'd like set the phone up, I cut the chicken, I put it in a bowl, bunch of shit. My friends would love it, and I just sent it to my friends. And so I got certified to become a personal trainer because I'm a meathead at the core. And so I'm training clients online. I'm training them at the gym that I was working at. And at this time, TikTok had just come out, and like TikTok for me was Charlie D'Amelio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going near this thing. You know what I mean? So my friends are telling me you should start putting these things on TikTok. I'm like, nah, whatever. Long story short, and I'll never forget, it was 7:52 p.m. on a Wednesday. I don't remember the date, but I remember the time because that's just fucking how it works.
Right.
And I'm sitting in the gym. I'm working at the desk. No one's in the gym. And I'm like, you know what? Like, fuck it. I'm going to make a video. I make a quick 15-second video. I put my phone away. The next morning I wake up. It's got 2 million views.
No way.
I'm like, all right. The first one, yeah. And I'm like, I ain't doing this again. I said, I'm going to call it. It's like, to me, that's like pitch hitting a walk-off grand slam.
Right.
And then
Never happened.
No,
again.
it's funny. I was going to ask you about that, dude, because we have followers. Sean has some followers. I have a few. And like every once in a while, something will hit where I'm like, all of a sudden, if you notice this too, Sean, like, wow, like this many people saw this. I start getting nervous and I'm like, wait, what does that mean? Is this too much now? So you do one video, and then the next morning you wake up, there's 2 million people. Were you like, I gotta lock myself up? What did I do in my past? Is somebody gonna find me? What? No joke. Seriously.
I'm telling you. So it happens, and I'm like, I'm never showing my face anywhere again. I deleted the app. I'm like, and like all these accounts are posting the video. The video was Italian dads when you tell them you're going out.
Yes.
And like it went crazy. And all these accounts are posting. I delete the app, and then COVID happens, and I'm bored at the house. I mean, you can only hit the weights for what, 2 hours max. And so I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm taking online classes. And school was never really my thing. I'm not playing baseball anymore. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, how do I keep these clients I got, the whole thing? And I'm like, every now and then I'm starting to think about TikTok and these videos. And I'm like, you know what? They're fun to make because I love to create and I love to make people laugh. Like for me, even like when it came to training, like creating the workouts is the funnest part, talking with the people. So I'm like, I'm just going to make one video a day for me. Like, but setting the record straight, I think, and I'm not even saying this in a cocky way whatsoever, I think the videos are fucking hysterical. Right. So like for me, if I can laugh, like I'll just sit there when I'm bored and watch that's very bad that I just said that, but I'll watch it and I genuinely enjoy them. So I did that every single day. And before long, they were getting posted everywhere. And I'm like, November of 2020, I said, fuck it, I'm going to make a run at the whole thing. And like, when I go all in on something, I mean, that's it. And it's just been this beautiful thing of just downward failures, but then high moments. I love it. I love it.
Dude, I want to talk. I want to stay right there because we were talking a little bit. And now we can get into it. But when I look at your videos and when I watch you do your thing, I think one of the reasons I love you is because I see that grinder mentality. It's like, oh, this guy's like one of me. Like I relate to this guy. Like I see that, like, and then you're able to laugh at yourself. It's so good too. Like, but you playing baseball, and playing it into college. How do you think baseball has prepared you for what you're doing now?
It's prepared me all along, and I never realized that it did until now. And like you could kind of when I started seeing success and when I started seeing like obstacles, I never understood how actually prepared I was this whole time. And I credit it to two things: the game of baseball and my father. And my father, has built this family and he gets up every day and he works hard and he sets the tone and just sets an example for me. Like that's all I ever needed to get that perspective of what it means to earn something. But the other hand too, like being able to bounce back from failure and like being able to perfect your craft with baseball has instilled within me what a real work ethic means. Because nowadays everybody's got a work ethic, on the internet. You could everyone's telling you what they're doing and no discredit, but you got to realize that that's kind of a highlight reel, because if you got all this time to show everybody what you're doing, you must not be doing much at all, because I'm trying to figure out how to show everyone what the hell I'm doing, but I don't got the time because I'm doing a lot.
Right.
For me, The game of baseball, coming back to it, has taught me everything I need to know about failure, as I said, but also how to be a team player. Because for me, being a team player and wanting to win with more than just yourself is huge. And understanding that it's always bigger than you. Like for me, perfect example, on days where I don't feel like recording, because there are some days where I'm dragging, and everyone's dragging. I'm a human. And I think to myself, it ain't really about how I feel, to be honest with you. It's bigger than me. And that's one way of thinking, and other people may disagree. But in my point of view, if you have a gift and you're committing to doing something and sharing that, then it really isn't about you. It's about something much bigger, because God forbid there's one person going through it that day and they see a video that I put out and it just for a second makes them think about something different. To me, then like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I think about that stuff, and I wouldn't have, in my opinion, had that mindset had I not been on a sports team, and my sport was baseball, so I had not been a baseball player.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kiss. That reminds me, because what you're saying right now, I feel like I can relate to you, and you can too, Sean, because we do this 5 days a week, and we buried the lead. This is our 200th episode of the show. We haven't even announced it yet.
Yes.
And
Nick Cassano on for 200.
Yeah,
baby.
dude.
Let's go.
And but you just saying that right now resonated with me, because there are days where like Sean is traveling left and right, or I'm busy and I have other jobs and we're doing stuff, and it's like, it's the discipline is almost as rewarding as your best video, right? Like sometimes it's like,
for me, it's more rewarding.
Right. We're on the same page with that for sure, right, Sean?
Well, I think also too, like, I know for me, I remember we would have opening day in Cincinnati. It was like the greatest opening day ever, dude. Like the freaking, it was a holiday, and going back in baseball history, Cincinnati was, the Red Stockings were the original team. So opening day was always in Cincinnati until, 15, 20 years ago, they started opening, overseas or whatever. But I remember after game one, it'd be unbelievable. And so the next day we would come game two, it'd be April 4th. And it would like 8 people would be in the stands. Yeah. And I remember Nick, we Adam Dunn and I would always run our sprints before the game. And I remember he would always turn to me and go, only 161 to go, Case. And I'd be like, oh, buckle up, brother. Buckle up.
No,
but that's the thing. It's easy to be committed when everything's going great. It's easy to have consistency and commitment when, hey man, I'm raking, I'm hitting 430 this month, but when I'm hitting $110 for 3 weeks, and the last thing I want to do is go play a game or show up or entertain anybody. Like, you're in the entertainment industry, those are the days where you find out who you are. Those are the days that separate you, right? Those are the days. So when you make a video, when you don't want to make it because you've just made 30 days in a row, like, that's the day you do it.
That's where you get tested. Absolutely. Right. And for me, like, it's like, I've seen this and I've observed that the recipe for someone who is quote unquote successful is all the same. It's just different scenarios that get you tested. And it's that test, you either pass or fail that test. And 9 times out of 10, the failures are never seen. But then you'll see it in the results and what comes of it. So for me, that, like, I just got chills when you were talking about that, because it's like, it's so true. It's great when it's great, but when it ain't great, that's when it really starts. Like, and I say all the time to my buddies, because, I just graduated college. So this is quite a new thing for me and my buddies. So it's kind of like wild. And, like, they're like, well, I want to get into this. And I'm like, okay. And like, shit will hit the fan. And they're like, man, this is hard. And I'm like, welcome. Like, you just arrived. Like, this is day one. Like, everything else before that was just the fun part. Like the mud is day one. Welcome. You're here. And I'm here with you. You know what I mean? So it goes back to that whole thing.
Dude, Nick, I love what you say there, because I always say this. It's hard either way, dude. It's hard either way. It's hard. If I want to show up and do the work, like if I go to baseball, hey, listen, I don't want to hit today, but I'm going to hit 75 rockets to the left center part of the cage. I'm going to lift my weights. I'm going to squat. I don't want to squat today. I don't want to deadlift because they're hard, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's hard. But when I go on the baseball field and I got to face a guy like Randy Johnson or Greg Maddux and I get a couple knocks and I go, okay, that work that was hard paid off.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
it's also hard to just do nothing. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to go.
Harder.
It's harder, right? I go on my couch. I don't do anything, man. Like I don't do anything. And guess what?
Yeah.
Then when I go out and I gotta actually produce.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. Guess what? Because the results aren't random. Results reveal. So
Absolutely.
it's hard either. It's going to be hard either way. So why don't you put the work in and get the results on the other side that you want? I always think of it that way, right? Easy has a cost. You can go the easy route, but easy has a cost too. You get what you get from easy.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. And to that point, so I got to give a quick shout out to a good buddy of mine, Brian Miles. He's the mental performance coach for the Cleveland Guardians.
Yes.
And he says all the time, like, dude, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. No one gives a fuck about how you feel. No one gives a fuck about what happened the minute before. You have a job. You're either going to do it or you're not. And if you don't do it, then you don't do it. If you do it, what do you do? To me, I like eliminating the feeling and getting over that just splits because it's a split second. It really is. When the alarm goes off in the morning, it's a split-second decision. Every single day. You just got to get the feet on the ground, and once they're on the ground, movement creates momentum, and then you're just rolling.
There you go. Great point. And also, I'll jump in too. Like don't forget these past 3 years. First of all, the pandemic hit, so we were all sitting in our houses. And now, what you're doing, Nicky, and honestly, what I'm doing in my career, and Sean's doing this, we're all sitting here right now in our houses still. So the discipline of the single biggest thing that made me be able to keep working and stuff was waking up in the morning and taking a shower and putting clothes on that aren't my sweatpants. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, oh my gosh,
right?
Because that's how habits create.
Yes,
it's becoming what you want to be, like living what you want to be. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, wonderful at explaining that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like you don't choose. Well, like they say, you don't choose your life. You choose your habits, and then your habits create your life. Right? So like, right? It's the truth, right? At the end of the day, like, hey, I want to be this. That's good. What's your process? Like I always say, my process for an at-bat was, okay, take a deep breath, see the ball be easy, look middle away, react in, hammer. Yes, I'm swinging. Yeah. Well, my process for my life now is like, what are the habits I create every day to have the best days possible? I mean, I'm sure that's exactly how you're doing it too. If you're reading James Clear's book on Atomic Habits, which I've read too, is incredible. BJ Fogg's book, Tiny Habits, too, is legit too.
I need to read that. I haven't read that. But yeah, absolutely. And once, I mean, are we charging for this episode? Not on me. But one last thing I'll say about habits is once you create a lot of good habits, it is so easy to find your bad habits. It is so clear how to get rid of your bad habits. Yep. I love it, fella.
Dude, I want to know what your Oura Ring score was last night. That's what I want to know. What was your Oura Ring score?
It was bad.
You're up late. You're up late last night.
It was a 68. Yeah, I was a 68.
Dude,
I'm not really.
But it isn't. How about the Oura Ring, bro? I've been doing it for a year too. It's changed my life because it's shown me my habits. Am I eating too late? Am I up too late? Am I, I know, like, hey, should I sauna? Should I not? It's like, just things like. Am I moving enough during the day? Is my heart rate getting where it needs to be? Am I working out enough? It's incredible, right? So talk about tracking habits.
Not only can you track a habit, it creates a new good habit. And for me, that's just as important. And it's hard. And I think this is a disease of guys and girls who are go-getters, is like when it tells me to relax, I have a hard time listening to it. But it's teaching me. No, I'm serious. It's teaching me to like rest is so necessary, and like you're not lazy if you're actually you're better off, and you're actually working harder if you listen to your body. Right, so for me, it does a lot of things. Shout out Oura Ring. No free advertising.
No free advertising. Hey, you got to train recovery, dude. You got to train recovery, right?
This is important, if not more. 100%.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, it's so good. I got a quick story. You're a Giants fan, right?
Yes, I am.
So, dude, There's a great story. So Mark Shapiro is a dear friend of mine who was the head of the Cleveland Indians for a long time. Now he's the CEO of the Blue Jays, and so he tells me a great story. He was at Scott Pioli. So Bill Parcells' his daughter married a good friend of ours named Scott Pioli, who was the GM for the Patriots at the time. And he said the wedding's really small. I can't remember where they're like in the Bahamas or something. And Mark gets up from the dinner to, there's like 12 people there, and he goes to the bathroom, and Parcells is in there, taking a piss. And, Mark saddles up next to Parcells or whatever. And Parcells is like, hey, Mark. He goes, how's it going with the Indians? And I think it's during the season at the time. He's like, you know what? He goes, we're grinding a little bit. Tomey's been down with a hamstring injury. Fryman's out with a back. Vizquel's got banged up, blah, 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 blah. So Parcells doesn't respond. So Parcells goes over to wash his hands, and Mark's finishing up going to the bathroom. And as he's walking out, he goes, hey, Mark, just want to tell you a quick piece of advice. Nobody gives a shit. And what he was saying was, nobody cares that so-and-so's hurt and this guy's hurt. Yeah. All they care about is, are you going to find a way to win?
And that's it. And that's it. Yeah. And that's it. But it's so true. And that's why sports to me is so great, because it teaches you that exact thing. It's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And you got to own it up. Like, you got to own your shit. Because no one cares. Like, honestly, like I talk to, like, I don't want to hear your bullshit. Everybody's got bullshit.
It's so true, man. It's so true. Are you, Nick, are you going to get in? Because, I'm into the mental performance coaching realm too. Are you going to get into that? I know you do some motivational talks.
Yeah. For me, it's something that I use as a tool, and I'm big on, my buddy is also a mental skills coach for the game of baseball, but more focused towards high school kids. Shout out Perry Quartuccia. How you doing, Pat? And then Brian Miles. For me, that's a profession, and I would feel that I'd be discrediting the guys who have went to school to become that sort of thing, to do that professionally and actually, charge for it. To that point, though, that doesn't mean I can't talk about it like this. So I would love to figure out a way to put that message out there more and share some of that, because like I said, I'm a student of life, man. I love it. And I love talking about it. Like, these conversations for me, they're unbelievable.
Me too, bro. I feel like we could do 5 hours on this stuff.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
That's why I got my charger, so the thing doesn't die.
Dude, what about take us into some of the characters that you've created, man, like No and what is it? Pasquale. Yeah. Pasquale. And then you got the, even like doing like the football, dude, even the stuff when you were doing the football stuff and you were like hitting the freaking leaf bag, and it's ingenious stuff. And then you're doing when you were doing the restaurant manager, hey, how you doing? You coming around.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, like the No character, like, where'd that all start?
All right. So a lot of people think that the Pasquale character is based off of my real dad, and it's not. My dad, some of the scenarios, yes, but it was more so based off of like little league dads that I would like be on my team. And it's just like, I've always been good at like observing things and kind of just putting it on my head and putting it out there. No, funny story. Not a lot of people know this. I've never actually met my grandfather. So No in Italian is grandfather. Okay. But my mom has an uncle who is very off the boat, off the cuff, kind of like goofy in a sense, but also just like a jolly guy. And for me, that's the No character. That's who it's based off of. Right. But the other characters, for the NFL mic'd up videos, I literally walked out of my room. My girlfriend was working from home, and I come out with a baseball helmet backwards and sunglasses on with a towel stuffed in my t-shirt. And this is why, she's great. She's like, man, it's just another day in the office. And
That's so good.
I snapped up the microphone and I just let it rip. Like, for me, I'm huge on just throwing shit on the wall and seeing if it sticks. But I also, to that same point, it's a double-edged sword where I have some sort of idea of what people are going to laugh at. So I could easily get a football helmet, but I show and shoulder pads. But if you don't know football, at least you can laugh at the fact that my fucking baseball thing is
right,
and I'm hitting a bag of leaves. So like I'm just trying to be as goofy and as fun as possible. And it's just like stuff that I pick up, and I just like, I don't know, it just kind of like hits me in the face. And I hate saying that, and it's such a shitty answer, and I don't want to like sound like I'm whatever, but it's just true.
You're creative. You're creative, dude.
Just it really, like I've tried, Sean and Chinch, did I say that right?
Yeah, good job.
Chance,
Good work, bro.
Yep.
Good. So I've tried to like sit down and like fucking think of shit. I don't think that bullshit for fucking.
Yes.
Like, I can't do it. But
I
it's
get
when
that.
I'm just out. It just comes. I don't know.
That's
I
kind of
really
how I work as like a producer. It's interesting. It's a very similar kind of concept. Like Sean knows, I love like with no script, no nothing. It's a lot more fun that way. And then when you're done with it, you can go, oh, you know what, that did work, and then you can maybe look back at it, and next time you do it, you build on it a little bit. So that's an interesting process. The other thing I'll say is I think it's good, and you can agree with me, I think you will, is that Italian people, I think, are maybe as okay or more okay than most at like watching people make fun of them and accepting it and going, yes, that's exactly how we are.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Being made fun of forever.
Oh my God, yes, because our whole lives,
bust my balls.
everybody destroys you. You're like the kitchen table, you're just destroyed your whole life. So, like, we have, I think, a little bit of a thick skin when people are like, oh, Italiano. Yeah. Like when Eddie Murphy made fun of Italian people is that not one of the greatest things you've ever seen? It wasn't an insult. Rocco! You just saw Rocky, didn't you? Yeah, it's the greatest thing.
You see Rocky.
Yes. Yeah, there's something about Italian people who can make, I appreciate being made fun of as an Italian person in a unique way, I think.
For me, it's an art. Like I was the first. First, I was the youngest boy in the family. So I'm just the target. Yeah, and I'm like out there. Like for me, all the time. But you know what? I appreciate that, and I actually resonate with those that do the same thing. You know, like off the air, I may bust your balls about the hat you're wearing, but I'm not going to say it.
I love it. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I love it.
But yeah, I'm on the same page, man. I love it. It's fun. You gotta have fun. You gotta fucking laugh, man.
Yeah.
Dude, what about for you when, like, you know, I was looking at something and the Titans, the Tennessee Titans picked up a video, didn't they? And they played it, and like, what was that like for you when you start seeing your stuff getting out there?
Dude, it's so weird, but it's so awesome at the same time because, like, again, I make these because I like it. I like to create, and I think they're funny, and just to see someone else and they had their own platform do something similar and then like integrate mine together. Like you also got to understand too, you know, I get, you know, this is a real thing and it's a business, but you know, I'm still a little kid on the inside. So like for me, it's like, it's awesome, man. Like, and I didn't even know they did it. They just fucking posted it. And I'm like, that's great. That's great. And then the business side of me is like, well, can I actually do that? Or
I didn't get some money here. What's going on?
Yeah, well, seems like there's a little bit of lost in translation. Something happened. No, for me, man, it's like I said. It's just it comes back to if someone's going to enjoy it and someone's going to laugh or smile. To me, it's all good. You know.
Yeah. When you go back too, because I almost feel like when Barstool gets a hold of anybody, you know, things go big, and that was a big part too, right? When
Huge.
You know, when Barstool kind of put you out there a little bit, and that audience grabbed onto you. Can you just talk about, you know, what was that like when you started when you started to see them playing your videos, and all of a sudden, you know, Nicky Cass started growing.
So first and foremost, I got to give the biggest shout out. I don't know if I could say his name or not, so I'm not gonna. But you know who you are if you're watching. He really changed my life because and I tell him all the time I've been dying to take him to dinner, and he's like, "No, I'm not taking you. Like, you don't need to take me to whatever." Just a behind the scenes guy, and he is, by him posting the stuff gave me the confidence to keep posting, and he's a huge reason why I kept going. Because for me, like I said, I did it for fun, but there was real no direction until things started to get serious. So when I first got posted, it was like the first time I was like, oh, this is cool. for my friends. Like, I'm going to send this to my boys and we're going to laugh about it. But then they did it a second, third, however many times. And I was like, it changed the course of how I viewed everything. I was getting recognized on the street. I was getting asked a million different questions. This person's reaching out. I'm like, I used to watch you on TV. Perfect example right here. It's what really made it real and gave me the confidence and made me it just reassured me what I always thought, but I was never confident enough to say. And I still have trouble doing that. But yeah, it was so pivotal for me. And I got nothing but love for those guys. KFC, they're all great people. And it was unbelievable.
That's awesome, man. That's how it happens. I really believe that. And I'm sure you've seen this already in life. I know in my life, bro, I'm a little older than you. I know in my life though, like whenever you start going down a path to try and impact others and you try to like do it in a way that's genuine, it's not just, like I remember my dad asked me one time, he's like, do you want to play in the big leagues for service and impact? Or do you want to play in the big leagues for money or fame? And I was like, I think service and impact is what I want to have. He's like, well, that'll be a totally different path for you. And I think that's so true. Like, I feel like what you're doing, bro, and the joy that you have with making people laugh or just people letting people escape for a little bit to see your videos and stuff. I almost feel like divine providence comes out, like the helping hands of God or whatever you want to say.
Yeah,
the Spirit come out and they say, oh, I'm going to put the Tennessee Titans in your life. I'm going to put Barstool in your life. I'm going to put Todd Frazier in your life. I'm going to put John Boy Media in your life. I'm going to put Sean Casey in your life. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, did you find that's happened for you?
Absolutely. I don't know, Sean. The best part about this all is, for me, the ability to not only make others laugh, but just to leverage that to really do some incredible things. And like, for example, like things that are just like for me, the meaning of what, like my family and I were able to start a foundation. We were able to put on a 5K race, the Kimpact Foundation, to which, again, thank you very much for
it, man. Every year, reach out every year, man.
I appreciate that. And for me, what I noticed was, and it's so crazy because like in high school, I was the same way, but I never knew what it actually meant until now I'm here. And I would always say, like, you need to be as good as possible all the time. And you need to be just as disciplined in your teamwork and showing up to practice than you do in the way that you treat each other. Because my aunt always told me, that my aunt Kim, who we started the foundation in honor of, always preached, be the energy you wish to attract. So even on days, like I said, where you don't feel like it and you're kind of dragging ass, just put out as much good energy as possible. And I believe that the world is a reciprocal place. So if I'm going to put out good is going to come back to me. However, I'm not going to think to myself, I'm not going to put a time frame on when the good's going to come back. Right. I'm just going to keep spewing it out. And I'm basically going to be like a hose of positivity. You turn that thing on and I ain't shutting off.
I love it.
And for me, no, but for me, like, you know, I gained a lot of perspective over the last 2 years. And what I've noticed is, my dad says all the time, this ain't a fucking dress rehearsal. You get one shot. So you might as well do the best you possibly can. And a part of that, and a part of, you know, representing myself, my family, what my dad has built, is in my head, in order to maintain that certain level to which I think the standard should be, is I need to be the best version I could possibly be and put as much goodness out there as possible. And when I did that, the opportunities, it was a fucking, it's like, here's an opportunity. And not only that, it got me opportunities to give to my friends and take my friends and put them in positions, and take their cousins or whatever and put them in positions. For me, what's the point of being successful if you can't share it? Because if you share it, then there's more people at the table. And when there's more people at the table, more food comes because you got to feed.
That's the truth.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Dude, you would have loved being my buddy back when I first made the big leagues, bro. I used to take my college friends, used to take this trip every year. Five guys used to come every year, and I would get them. I can't imagine they do this now, but I would get one of them in uniform for batting practice every year. Oh, it's incredible. It was incredible.
Wait,
dude,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's the best part of it all. It's like giving an opportunity.
The best.
Like, for a perfect example, I got on the phone with and I'm just going to say it, whatever. I got on the phone with a professional baseball team about possibly doing stuff during the season, and I know a good buddy of mine is a huge fan, diehard fan of this organization. So we're on the phone. I'm like, they want me to come do whatever at the stadium for game day, and I'm like, so I travel with 3 people. I said I got my camera guy, and then I'm like, I got an intern. I don't have an intern.
But it's your
You
buddy.
better believe that he's going to be an intern when we
That's
go. When we go,
brilliant, dude.
So,
Oh
like,
my God.
for me, like, just to be able to, because like it is just, it's easy to, and I'm just so lucky to be in the position to do it. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you? You know what I
Dude,
mean?
right.
Like,
It's
why not?
incredible. It's incredible.
It's awesome.
Dude, literally, this picture right here.
That is
It's me,
unbelievable.
my buddy Doug, my buddy John. So when Griffey first came to the Reds, right? And my buddies are like, and I'm like, yeah, come on out for BP. So that, it was just so many moments like that that were incredible.
Yeah.
And dude, Nick, you'll love this story, bro. My one buddy, Courtney West, where were we? He comes out. He's like, little dude, just like, not the best athlete of the group.
Like
Well, it
me?
turns out he's I like you, but you're a better athlete than Butch was. We call him Butch. Dude, he blows out freaking. We're shagging in Arizona, and he goes back, freaking blows out a hammy, dude. Legitimately, dude, comes in. So we're getting ready for a big league game, dude. Big league game, and my buddy Courtney West is on the training table with ice on his hamstring, and I'll never forget it. Dimitri Young comes in. He's like, Case. He's like, I thought your buddies were coming out here, not some little circus animals, something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so great, dude. I'm like, I have my buddy here to take batting practice, and he's getting iced in the big league training room.
It's awesome.
Wait, can I gotta throw one in there too, super quick. This is my one story I can tell, but you guys will appreciate this. So when we first started MLB Network back in the day, Bob Costas and Tom Verducci used to do this like all-time games thing. I don't know if you remember. It was like one of the first things we did. And this one game was Willie Mays was coming in. So Harold Reynolds, who you guys know, is a great friend, great with everything. He's like, bring your dad. You got to bring your dad. I'll introduce him to Willie. He's like a godfather to me. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'm running around and I'm working. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, where's my dad? Because I don't know what he's going to do or what he's breaking. You guys both know, right? I'm like, holy shit. So I go and I'm like, Harold, where's my dad? And he's like, oh, he's in there talking to Willie. And I was like, oh no.
Oh my God.
No. It wasn't like, oh, that's great. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I run in and Case, there's that little green room they turned into an edit room. It's literally the size of this screen right now. And I walk in and my father is telling Willie Mays is going, no, Al, it was 4:55. And my father's like, no, you're wrong, Willie. It was 4:42. And I was like, what? And he goes, Willie's wrong. I know what the center field wall was at the Polo Grounds. And I was like, I grabbed him and threw him out the way. And I'm like, stop arguing with Willie Mays over how far the fence was at the Polo Grounds. But it was still to this day, like you said, it's like it's the greatest moment of my career.
It's a moment,
right?
It's a moment, and you get it's like an unlimited opportunity to create moments. And fellas, moments are all we got. To be honest with you, at the end of the day, it's just like it's such a blessing. That's a hysterical story. That's something my dad would do.
So does your grandmother live with you?
Yeah, she's downstairs. No.
She is, yeah. So tell me about that. I feel like a lot of Italians have their grandmothers in the basement. I think that's true, right? But the video, you do some great videos with her in the kitchen and stuff. It's incredible.
She's awesome. She actually she raised us. My parents would work till around 6:30 when we were growing up. So she raised me, my sister, my 4 cousins, and my 3 cousins. That's bad. I said 4.
There's an extra one somewhere.
There might be. We don't know. But yeah, so she raised us, and it was, she was tough. Like she didn't take no shit. For me, and you'll laugh when like my sister is an angel. She was like always did the right thing. Hey, Not so much. I was a little bit more resentful. But like her way of disciplining me was like, I'm gonna call the police. Like if I was jumping on the bed, she she'd come in and she'd be like, "Say you no stop and do this, I'm gonna call the police." And like I would believe her because I was like 8, and but it would get me to stop. But she was like, she was the reason why I was nearly 200 pounds at 10 years old. I would come home and it was a fucking spread. It was like she'd take 4 or 5 pieces of bread, put mozzarella on the bread, put it in a toaster oven. Then she'd ask me, "Do you want any sausage?" We had sausage hanging from our garage. She'd fucking go up there, grab the sausage. She'd cut it down, 5, 6 slices of sausage, feed it to me, and I'm just like I can't wait. I can't wait to come home. I can't wait to come home. And then the lunches, the school lunches, the school lunches. There was a few kids who didn't grow up Italian in my friend group. Every time I bring like chicken cutlets, I get guys trying to trade me Dunkaroos. I fucking love Dunkaroos. I told Mona to bring me an extra, like a little extra thing, and I just happened to trade off. So now I'm benefiting. I got the chicken cutlets and I got Dunkaroos. It was awesome. It really is a blessing, man.
Oh my god! Did she cook? Awesome. Did she cook every night for you guys? Like,
yeah, she cooked all day long. Just like downstairs, you'd walk in and the peppers, the stuff would just hit you right in the face. And then, like, for her 80th birthday, we had 35 people at the house. She cooked for all 35 people.
Oh, my God.
It was unbelievable. 80 years old. I'm like, no. It's so just take a seat.
Right?
Don't stop. Oh, it was up. But then she make what's called bacala. You know what bacala is?
Oh, of course I do. Yeah. Explain it to the kid over here, the Irish guy.
I know what bacala. I think I've had bacala. What is it again?
Sean, imagine the worst smelling fish you've ever smelled in your entire life. And then it also tastes like that, and it smells 10 times worse. She'd make this shit. She'd make this shit once a week, and she would be the only one to eat it, but the whole house would smell. You'd walk in, and I'd be like, like no one is making fucking bacala again. And it was disgusting. And they bled it and shit like that. So to make a long story short, it's a blessing. She lives downstairs, and she's the light of my life.
And is she from Italy?
Yes, Calitri, Italy. She came here when she was 20 years old, stopped going to school in the 5th grade. But she knows how to count chicken cutlets and meatballs. she's awesome. Yeah, she's from the boat, man.
What is it about the Italian women, though, the way they cook? Like, I remember my buddy, one of our guys on here, the big Lambrewski, his name's Justin Lambert. His mom was Italian. I'd go over there at college, I'd go over there, hey, the Lamberts. There'd be 85 chicken cutlets, sausage, everything like that. And I'm like,
it's like they snap their fingers and it's
and I'm like, who's coming over? Or like, it's like the Salvation Army bringing out a bunch of people for, they're like, no, just you. I'm like, just me?
Yeah, no, that's how it is. No, it's ridiculous. Like, but that's what I'm saying. I was fat. Like, I was like growing up, and then like 1 plate, 2 plates, 3. Like, it don't matter. Like, and you'll say, I'm like, Mona, I'm full. But you should want a little more things to please. Just and it got to the point where I had to tell her, like, I can't eat no more.
Dude, Case, did I not just tell you that exact same chicken cutlet story right before we came on the air? About my mother? Yeah. I would come home from football practice and I'm like, I ran a bunch of suicides all day, and I come home and I have 4 just pieces of like, I'm eating chicken cutlets and the oil is shooting down my face, and it's like 9:30 at night on a Tuesday, and that's just Tuesday dinner at an Italian house. I'm not kidding, Sean. I swear to God.
And the best part too is like there was a time where I was a little bit chunky, and she would tell me that I got to lose weight. And then she'd offer me eggplant parmesan right out.
That's so true.
I'm like, no, how much? She, I think you need to lose a couple of pounds. You want some eggplant parmesan? I just make. And I'm like, no, what? It's never gonna end. I didn't put my foot down. It hurt me when I put my foot down.
No, because eggplant, they'll go, it's just a vegetable. It's just a vegetable. Yeah. It's like a side.
18 pounds of mozzarella cheese now.
Oh my God, dude. It's so great. I love when you imitate her. It is so freaking great. It's so great. Oh man. Dude, so So what's next for you, bro? I mean, like first off, thanks for doing what you're doing. Like I said, man, so many people are are benefiting from it, and the joy you bring to all of us is incredible. But I feel like you're just on the launching pad, bro. Like you're just getting ready to take off. Like, what's happening next for you, brother? And like, where do you see yourself going in the next, year or so?
So for me, something that I'm really passionate about is the foundation that we just started, the Kimpact Foundation, just to be able to spread the mission of just being catalyst for positive change and just introducing this idea of passion to everybody, and just trying to be as positive as possible fires me up. And that's something I'm really looking forward to see where that goes. And the other thing too is with John Boy Media, we got the Blitzball Battle 3 coming up. We got Blitzball Battle 4 and 5. Sean Chinch, if you guys want to come out, that'd be awesome to come see it and what it looks like.
That would be great, dude. We're not kidding. Yeah, you will see us there.
I'm serious. After this call, we'll set it up because it really is something special. And just for me, it's always been about the journey, and I just love being on the journey, and I love being about the process. So like when people ask me, what's the end goal, I don't really have an answer because I'm just so in love with the journey. Which is, some people may disagree and some people may agree. I just haven't gotten there yet. And like I said, I just graduated from college. Like I haven't been doing this full time for even a year yet. So like for me, just being in love with every day is something I want to continue to do. And the other thing too is I'm trying to really break 90 on the golf course. Like real bad.
How's that going, bro?
It ain't going too well, but I'm telling you, it will turn around, and we'll break it, and it'll be good. And one more thing, I'll leave you with a little something. In September, I got something I'm working on that's going to come out that involves all the characters, and a nice little long form.
Cool, very cool, very cool.
I can't wait for that, dude.
It'll be good. I'm really excited about it. I'm putting the pieces to the puzzle together right now.
Dude, you have so many characters that you could just throw into that would be, it's going to be incredible, man. That's going to be incredible.
It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that.
Well, dude, getting it back to a baseball analogy, bro, at the end of the day, I love what you say, process over results. And at the end of the day, it's one pitch at a time. If you want to be good at anything, it's one pitch at a time. So it's one video at a time, one day at a time, one pitch at a time. Because I'll finish with this story. Albert Pujols. I was at the All-Star game in 2004. I'm sitting with Mike Piazza, Scott Rowland, and Pujols and Bonds at the time were just at another level. And I said to Rowland was the third baseman for the Cardinals at the time, and I said to him, I go, Scott, what is it, dude? I go, we're at the All-Star game here. We got Muhammad Ali walking in the clubhouse. We got this and that. We got some of the best players in the world here, but Pujols at another level. What is it? And he goes, Case, I've never seen anything like it. He goes, this guy doesn't give away one pitch. Not one pitch. He said on a Tuesday night, we could be in Kansas City in July, losing 9-0. 2 outs, he comes up, he'll put together a 12, 13, 14 pitch at bat, hit a single to right field. No one will think anything of it, and we'll go on. Well, I think about this, bro. 18 years later, he just hit his 700th homer. He just got his 3,000 hit, 2,000 RBIs. He's one of the greatest hitters of all time. And I think back to that conversation 18 years ago of this guy doesn't waste a pitch. And I look at you, bro, and I just say the same thing, dude. That mentality you have about the process, like don't waste a pitch, don't waste a video, don't waste a moment, opportunity. I just feel like the sky's the limit for you, brother. And I like I said, so grateful for you coming on with us. How can we find you, man? How can our listeners? How can our listeners find Nicky Cass, Nick Cassano? Sure. Where can we find you, brother?
For sure. First of all, I just want to say I'm equally as grateful for coming on here, and that hearing you say that to me means the world. And you can find me on Instagram at Nicky.Cass if you want to check it out. TikTok is at Nicky.Cass1. YouTube is just Nicky Cass. And then if you want to check out the foundation, it's KimpactFoundation.org. So that's where you can find me. Sean, I think I broke a record for the most amount of chills gotten in 45 minutes. I think I got chills like 5 or 6 times.
Oh, dude. Awesome. You're the best, incredible. Bro. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Same here, bro.
Excited. When Rich Cincinnamino is
Shantani, bro, we're good.
Cassano coming on, you're like, the fact that you're Sean Casey and Irish as hell, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter when you got you.
Yeah.
guys,
We showed him today.
Yeah, we did. That's right. Fucking guy over here.
Love you.
So,
Yeah, bro.
so great, man. All right, brother. We'll see you soon, Nick. Thanks, man. Talk to you
Love
soon.
you. Be good.
Okay, love you, bro. How incredible is that? Like, he's kind of everything you thought he was going to be. Like, Sarah and I watch him every night. You know, we love it. We love his posts, his content. But the biggest thing, Chinch, is that, dude, the laughter he brings, the joy he brings, the energy he brings is incredible.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that go online they go on there to be a celebrity, or they go on there to make money and whatever, and you can kind of tell that. And if you go to his website, and I'll post it and I'll put it on the back end of this, so you guys can go take a little. I'm sure most of you who are fans of us know who he is, but if you don't, you should, because he's great, and it's so positive and so funny, and like there's nothing horrible about it. Like everything is positive and to make you laugh, and you can
So
tell like by the heart, the type of heart that he has, the type of work ethic that he has. And, you know, all of us, you know, a lot of us struggled in school and high school and college and whatever and trying to figure ourselves out. This guy figured himself out by just being a good person and being very talented at what he does, because he is funny as shit,
And
by the
dude,
way.
like we talked about, he's so funny, bro.
Yeah.
He's so funny. And that grinder mentality. I think that's why baseball helped him. That grinder kind of like, dude, you're going to get knocked down 7, get up 8. You know, we just keep going, keep going. So that's why he's going to be a success, dude. This guy's not going to stop.
Can't wait
and
to
what
see
a
the
great
future.
guy. I'm glad we had him. Glad we had him inside the mayor's office. We could say we knew Nick Cassano.
Yeah, we knew Nick Cassano when. He's going to have like, it's going to be like Seinfeld in like 12 years, where we're going to be like, hey, can me and Sean come to the set and watch and eat the
Can we
craft
come to
services table by you? When he's a super uber duber famous
Nick,
celebrity.
Remember us, bro. Remember
Yeah, bro.
Chinch Case, you know, down the road,
Don't
okay?
forget
We're
it.
bums.
All right,
You know
man.
what I mean?
Yeah, another great
Chinch.
move out of you, bro.
And don't forget, Nick Cassano for 200, baby. Bam, cash it in.
Kaboom.
200 show at the mayor's office.
200th
our
episode.
man.
Thank
Isn't
you
that great?
all
Nicky
for listening
Cass.
to us this far.
Yes.
Thanks for coming along. We're getting more viewers, more subscribers. We appreciate it. But shit, Sean, we haven't even talked about this. We could have just, you know, hyped ourselves up, but we didn't. But man, I can't tell you how excited I am. You and I have done 200 freaking shows together, dude. 200 shows in less than 2 years.
I was watching the other day. Episodes 1 through 5, and I was like, we've gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah, we have. Oh my goodness.
a lot better.
That was
oh my
good.
God,
But
dude,
yeah, I
incredible.
love being along with this ride for you,
Yeah,
with you, and
me
I can't
too.
thank you enough. You're a great friend, and you've made this has done so much for my life and my career, but more so that you're one of my best friends in the world, and I love how I get to talk to you every day. So thank
Me
you.
too, Chinchy. Me too, brother. I'm so grateful for you, and 200 shows together. That, you know, it's been a lot of fun, and we're grateful for all the people that are listening and continue to listen and show up with us every day. Here's the 200 more or 2,000, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, brother. I'll see you tomorrow, Chinch. Love you, bro.
Love you.